Welcome back to the adventure. This is Adam, and today we're debunking myths about Windows Millennium Edition. A common misconception about why Millennium Edition was poorly received is that the operating system was rushed to market. At the time, Windows 2000 would soon be released for businesses, but the consumer version was not yet ready. In an official statement from Microsoft, they had said Windows 98 would be the last in the 9X series. However, the platform was aging and Microsoft needed something to bridge the gap before Windows XP. This sounds reasonable until you dig a little deeper. On March 30th, 1999, Microsoft announced that it would be dividing the company into 5 new divisions, one of which is the Consumer Windows division. Previously, the Consumer Windows team developed under Jim Allchin's Windows team, which at the time was working to complete Windows 2000. When it became obvious that a consumer version of Windows 2000 was not possible, the Consumer Windows team began work on a final release of the Win9X product line, which was previously shelved by Allchin and others at Microsoft that wished to see the company move to an all-NT codebase. On April 7, 1999, at the Windows Hardware Engineering Conference, Microsoft President Steve Ballmer announced that the company would release a major follow-up to Windows 98 SE, which was due to ship later that spring. Early design ideas included an activity center based on work done by the Neptune team. To find out more about Microsoft Neptune, follow the card above. The goal for Millennium Edition ended up being to simply improve on Windows 98 rather than offer something dramatically different. So now we know how Millennium Edition came to be, but was development rushed for some arbitrary reason? Development does not appear to have been rushed. There were 24 builds released to testers over the 11 months the operating system was in development. This may sound like a short period of time by today's standards, but back then it was par for the course. Windows 98 SE was only in development for 6 months. Millennium Edition received the same treatment as other versions of Windows, up to and including TV commercials. When Millennium Edition was released in September of 2000, home computer users were still running DOS programs and games. Naturally, when you take an existing feature out of an operating system, you are going to upset the user base that relied on that feature. This wasn't the last time a very popular feature was removed from a Windows operating system. If you recall, the Start menu was removed from Windows 8. That didn't go over very well with consumers. However, DOS wasn't really removed, it was just hidden. This is where the misconception starts. If DOS was removed, then surely Millennium Edition would be a 32-bit operating system, right? Nope. Millennium Edition is still a 16/32-bit hybrid operating system, just like Windows 98. So Millennium Edition doesn't run on top of DOS then, right? This is also not the case. Millennium Edition does run on top of DOS. The user just can't access real mode DOS like you could in Windows 98. Millennium Edition actually came with an updated version of MS-DOS, 8.0. This issue may seem really difficult to reconcile. You may have had a very frustrating experience with Millennium Edition. It is also entirely possible that you had no issues the entire time you used it. So how are some users plagued with crashes and others enjoyed a highly stable crash-free operating system? Let's start with the issue of bugs in general. The purpose of alpha and beta releases are so testers can report back bugs they find. Bugs can be all manner of issues with the operating system, from spelling errors in applets to behavior, crashes, and exploits that compromise the system. Microsoft has a threshold of up to 500 bugs that they will allow in an operating system at release. By no account was Millennium Edition released with more than 500 previously identified bugs. However, there are some inherent flaws in the Win9X architecture. This is not specifically an issue with Millennium Edition, as every entry in the series had the same flaws. On the issue of stability, there is a known problem with using drivers designed for Windows 98 under Millennium Edition. If you have a computer that was running Windows 98 and you upgraded to ME, you probably had a very frustrating experience. If you purchased an OEM system that had ME pre-installed, you may have had the crash-free experience. We will see something similar happen again with Windows Vista. Microsoft allowed OEMs time to develop their apps and drivers for the new platform, but they simply didn't, because there's no money in writing drivers. In both cases, Microsoft took the blame and the reputation for ME and Vista were badly hurt. This stems from improving how drivers work that breaks the compatibility. While Windows 98 drivers would usually install, they cause other problems like well-known crashes that were very difficult to link back to the driver. The key reasons users point to for Millennium Edition being bad are simply myths. Follow the card above to find out why Millennium Edition is awesome. Thanks for stopping by. See you next video.